Hi, everybody. I'm Grace from CFA here at Not Film Fest with two of the filmmakers here in the festival. We have James and Nick of Foxhole. Thanks for coming and chatting with me, you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So can we start by you guys just kind of like talking about how you got started with this project and how you kind of formed this collaboration? Is this your first time working together before?
Should I take this? Okay, well, James and I have actually known each other for, 20 plus years.
Wow.
We're from Washington, D.C. We went to the same elementary school together.
Wow.
Went to grad school together, but it took us a while to finally get on a project together. It was a long time coming. We're kindred spirits.
Is this your first project together?
It is.
Wow.
In an official capacity. James and I have always worked with each other on each other's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And James has always been an invaluable resource for me. More than that, he's been
Hey, thanks, Nick.
He's been a voice. But this started, I think, for a handful of reasons. We first and foremost wanted to shoot something from where we're from in Virginia, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, and sort of pay homage to an area that we think is pretty untapped in the United States.
Yeah.
And we really, on that note, wanted to capture thematically, in some way, the sound of the broods of cicadas that come in the summer that we find inextricable from our memories of.
You know what's so crazy? Literally about 30 minutes ago, me and Haley Grun back there were like, those birds from we were pulling up sounds on TikTok, and we're
Yes.
like, that is so nostalgic. It's
Yes.
taking me home.
It's like
This is
owns
amazing.
its own
Yeah.
neuro pathway,
Yeah.
and we just felt like it hadn't really been explored in film all that much. Now we can't really speak to what role it plays in the film because we don't want to give anything away.
Sure.
But we were also just curious about exploring this theme of radical forgiveness, which is something that we think is really timely and really important.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to fit it into a narrative that took place in this bucolic countryside setting that was so close to home. And so we sort of built a story around that.
Amazing.
And Nick, this is your term. We've talked about it, but you want to give them your genre that you've coined? That
We like to call it hickory gothic.
That's amazing.
Just we like stuff that is takes place in a little bit of decay, that kind of beautiful decay,
Right.
that run down.
Have you made stuff like that before, or is this kind of a new thing that you're going to keep doing?
We have my last project was very much in that vein, and James was instrumental in that one as well. And the feature that James and I have been putting together is also very much in that vein. So we're really trying to give it a nice test drive before we.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a fun just concluding note to the story of Foxhole is probably about a year and a half ago, where Nick just texted me. We were in Venice Beach, living about a block away from each other, and he goes, it's about time that we work on a project together. Me as director, you as my cinematographer. I have 6 short film scripts. Let's make something this fall. And he sent me Foxhole. He said, this is the first one. And I read it, and I responded saying, don't send me the other 5. We're shooting Foxhole. And that was that, and we workshopped the script for 3 months or so, and we shot it in the peak of fall in Maryland and Virginia.
Yeah.
Some of the locations were farms that belonged to friends of ours from high school who donated their land graciously to us for filming purposes.
Shout out to Hank Montalbano.
Shout out to Hank Montalbano, a producer on this, and his wife Marissa, who donated. They just moved into this 12-acre plot of land in deep Maryland, and for us to do some pretty heavy-duty filming.
That's
with
nice.
With some stunts and maybe an explosion that we couldn't have done
Explosion
in state parkland.
in a hickory gothic.
That's right. That's right.
Something that we definitely could not have done on public land, and so they provided their beautiful location for us. And then Nick was able to find another incredible location at an inn near Culpeper, Virginia, with incredible views of the Shenandoah Mountains.
Wow, that's so cool. So when you received that script from him, what was it about the script that made you say, don't send me the other 5? What was it?
just Nick had this tightly contained short film. Sometimes when I get a short script, I think sometimes people make the mistake of trying to cram a feature into like the short film medium, but Nick's storytelling, the cadence of it, the setups and the payoffs was just this perfectly contained 12-page script. And, you know, I just saw so much potential there, and I gave him some of my ideas, and
he's being generous. He's a wizard with refining scripts, and always has been, and he can be very hard on you, but that is part of the process. And I like to think it was in good shape when I sent it to him, but it's nowhere near complete until he gets his paws on it.
Yeah, it sounds like a great collaboration between you guys.
And to Nick's credit, he is extremely open to criticism and extremely collaborative with me as one of his creative partners and our other third creative partner. Shout out to Dylan Ganson, our third creative partner on this, and he did all the post-production.
Our beloved Dylan Ganson.
Dylan, we love you.
Editing, color grading, VFX.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys have any kind of like influences and kind of, in a way, pioneering this new like vibe, or was it something that was more derived from your life or that region? You know,
I think there's a lot of lived experience in it, not too much, but I think stylistically we have a lot of overlap. I mean, I think we both love the Coen brothers. There's a little bit of that in there. That sort of, you know, morality tale. That's sort of like ancient storytelling. There's a movie that we both really like called Blue Ruin that I feel like has a lot of influence in this. Anything, again, that falls under this term that I'm not sure if we're going to be able to coin, called Hickory Gothic or Forest Noir or Neo-Western.
Forest Noir.
Forest Noir,
That's
like,
good.
you know, like No Country for Old Men, Place Beyond the Pines, that sort of vibe.
yeah, for sure.
That had a big impact on us.
And to develop the like visual storytelling approach to Foxhole, Nick and I early on knew that we wanted to ditch the traditional shot lists of over coverage. We wanted to be really disciplined to wider shots, longer shots,
Cool.
restricting camera movement for when it really counts. And we had a good game plan during pre-production, and to the most part, we stuck to it. And not only do we have those cinematic influences, but we also were just heavily influenced by like the landscapes of Virginia and Maryland, and like the architecture of these old school, sometimes dilapidated inns that really helped to shape some of our compositions. And and then the trees and the cicadas and the sounds. The sounds, you know, that was one of my notes to Nick when he sent me the script, is like, you know, you and I, we tend to think visually, but like how can we, you know, put as much weight on the sound storytelling as possible, because that's where you complete cinema.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. Did you guys like what was kind of like the biggest challenge that you think you faced in making this film?
Well, we had a couple. We had two in particular. I don't know if I should tell one of them. James gets a little mad at me when I tell this one. I'll start with this, and this was later chronologically. But we had a fox on set, a live fox. Bugsy was her name. Beautiful adolescent fox. It was her first day on set, and we had just set up for the first shot. 4 days of production. We were so excited, ready to go, and Bugsy broke off of her line and escaped from the trainers and ran into the woods.
On the first day?
On first shot.
First shot. Oh, my God.
And long story short, Bugsy was eventually recovered safely. That's the important thing.
Eventually?
Like
Was
three,
it?
3 or 4 days later.
Oh, my God.
So we had to come up with some, you know, we had to do a lot of creative problem solving, which is fun and which is the essence of independent filmmaking, right? And I think we were very satisfied with what we came up with. And we also, lo and behold, found just one actual shot of Bugsy in the test footage right before she broke free, and it worked. And we
Was there like a search party for Bugsy?
Yeah, there was.
There was.
While
And
you guys were
we
still shooting.
We set
it didn't
safe,
work.
humane traps out in the woods on my friend, on Henry and Marissa's farm. And shout out to our lead actor, Armando Riesco. Incredible guy, even like incredible actor.
Hard to tell if he's a better actor or a better guy.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when the fox trainers brought the fox out for the rehearsal, Armando nudges me and he goes, "Yo, press record." He goes, "Roll that camera."
Do it
The
now.
guy's a pro.
And I did. and they were kind of going through the safety, and they were trying to get the fox to cross the frame in the way that Nick and I were hoping.
Wow.
And luckily during that rehearsal take, before the fox broke off the leash, while they were doing their thing, we discovered, or not me, Nick and Dylan discovered a usable take with the fox had something in its mouth that we were able to weave into the story.
So it wasn't in vain.
Right.
We got it.
It's just so hilarious the way that, like, when you're writing scripts, when you're in pre-production, and people are always like, "Don't use it. Why would you use a fox?"
Yeah,
That's so. And
yeah.
you're always like, "It'll be
be okay."
And then right out of the gate,
course.
Bugsy on
Like
the loose.
clockwork.
Well, I'm so glad that Bugsy was recovered. I'm so glad that you guys were able to make a film. Obviously, a great one, having it, on a festival circuit. So.
Yeah.
Congrats, you guys. Congrats on being here. Congrats on your
Thank
film.
you.
And thanks so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
Yeah,
you
of
guys for
course.
being here and interviewing
Of
filmmakers
course.
at the Not Film Festival.
Can't wait to see
we
it
have
tonight.
a blast.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.